Okay, it's another beautiful Thursday morning in the big and beautiful city of Ibadan. My
Hello.
name is Adedamola Lafenwa, and the time is 9:21. You're on to Solutions 93.9 FM, and we're set to take you through some headlines and some of today's national dailies. I've got the Vanguard and the Nation newspaper with me this
Okay,
morning.
I've got the Punch newspaper and the Nigerian
You
Tribune.
were trying to say something the other time?
I love Thursdays. It's
Okay.
significant to us, both of us.
Oh well, yeah, it is actually. It is now. I remember. Okay, going through the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Let me take it from the top. Okay, I have this one saying cash crunch pushes down inflation month to month. You find that story on. I think it's on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. 2 days to polls. Candidates, parties, bicker over violence, rigging, apathy. Polls. NBC sanctions 25 stations, warns 26 others. Now, going to the banner headline this morning, war in APC over poll funds as Omishore sues for 500 million naira. And let me take some of the riders to that story. Party National Vice Chairman Northwest Lukman leads calls for Adamu Omishore to quit, accuses Omishore of mismanaging funds. Party voted for the last Osun state governorship election. Okay, moving further, Buhari's silence on allegations against INEC dangerous. Southern Middle Belt leaders. You find that story on page 13 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Now, going to the shoe headlines, Tinubu's silence over attacks on Igbo in Lagos dangerous for Nigeria. LP. That story is found on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. And going to the pocket headlines now, Emefiele advises central bankers on industry stability. That story is on page 27. Fuel subsidy, FG states yet to harmonize ahead of June deadline. That story is on page 13. And the very last story, or the very last headline I'll be taking from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, says presidential poll, Atiku PDP withdraw fresh application against INEC. That story is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
Okay, let me start with the Punch newspaper this morning. And first, I'll take the images that I see here, and it's the soldiers walking into an aircraft holding the Nigerian flag, and says Nigeria rejoins UN peacekeeping mission 10 years after exit. And new Naira pains persist despite fresh CBN orders. Queues, chaos in bank halls as scarcity worsens. Banks expect more notes from CBN before Saturday pose. Today is Thursday, probably by tomorrow we get more in banks. But private sector blames Naira crisis for inflation surge. You can check that story on page 21 of the Punch newspaper as parties warn INEC against beavers problems repeat. That's on page 2. Fuel consumption eats 80 million daily. That story too. We have this one also from our Fenifere leader. Congratulations, Tinubu endorsing Sanwo-Olu. That's on page 8. And election poster. Lagos summons principal for punishing pupil. Federal government shifts centers to May. That's page 18 of the Punch newspaper.
Okay, now moving to the Nation newspaper this morning, starting from the cap headlines. I have this one saying why Nigeria Air may not fly before May 29. And another one says, okay, food petrol prices raise inflation to 21.91%. Governorship battle hot up in Lagos, Oyo. Lagos PDP chieftains defect to APC. Support swells for Makinde. Now going to the banner headline on the Nation this morning, it says banks run out of old, new Naira notes to pay customers. And riders to that says CBN fails to honor cash request. Branches shut. Oh, that is not so good story. When we were thinking we'll be having a sigh of relief after like a month of being cashless, And this is coming up now. I was asking Dr. Kunostone yesterday that where is the cash?
Well, he answered, said it's not the CBN.
Yeah. Okay, those are the stories I'll take from the front page of the Nation for now.
All right, very bold on the Nigerian Tribune this morning is the fierce battle for the State Assembly poll in Anambra, Edo, Osun, Rivers, and others. As INEC begins distribution of materials, complete reconfiguration of beavers. Inflation rate hits 21.9% and amid Naira scarcity. Use Saturday poll to express anger over sham February 25 election, Atiku says in broadcast. And there was one yesterday saying Atiku withdrew from a court to not participate in the sorting of the election materials. Well,
Yes.
Olunloyo Ladaja's wife, Ashina Pella, drum up support for Makinde. That's on page 4. And Akere Market, Sanwo-Olu compensate traders with 100 million naira. Southern Middle Belt leaders ride Buhari, lampoon EM over attitude in February 25 poll irregularities. The stories on the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Okay, I think you've taken the two.
Yes.
Okay, it's 9:27 on Solutions 93.9 FM. We are expecting to be joined by our analyst this morning, and as soon as we have our analyst in the studio, we will be discussing some of these issues. But yesterday you were talking about your inability to spend the old 1,000 naira note,
Yeah.
and I also experienced a bit of it. It was rejected somewhere, and I was able to spend the 1,000 naira note, the old one, in another place. And I think the awareness is still not going round enough. People are still I spoke with some people yesterday and they were like, they haven't even heard Emefiele coming out, or maybe the Mr. President, it was the Mr. President that came out. He said Mr. President gave a nationwide broadcast on that
200 naira.
For the 200 naira, and
But
to
not the
state that the others are being banned or ceased to be legal tenders. And they said the president is saying that he needs that same statement to come up again from the presidency before. I said, well,
I think the CBN did something that we can also all agree that is okay. There was a press release, a statement that was released to the public.
Yes.
That the 1,000 naira and 500 naira notes are now legal tender. I guess it's not going round. Maybe people that do not, use the internet, people who
I think
believe
it's
in
more of a
spoken
result
words.
of being ignorant of what is happening.
No, I believe it's because the president spoke first, gave the 200 naira the order for it to be legal tender, but he didn't come out again to address the nation. But I feel the press release was also backing the president, backing the CBN governor, and no one is actually complaining or saying something. Even the CBN hasn't debunked that statement. So
definitely.
It's
official,
it's
actually.
official. So people should
But
realize.
I think the gist is just yet to go round.
No, the people should
People are
just-
still skeptical about accepting.
I feel
the
we
old
should
note.
all not be skeptical about it. After this commercial break, we'll talk more about all these stories making rounds on the Nigerian newspapers.
Solutions FM 93.9. We are the remedy.
For this Naija wey we dey so, say you no hold cash no mean say wahala dey o. You wan send money to Male for Villa, just use Momo. You wan buy recharge card or data, just use Momo. You wan pay for market wey you buy, just use Momo. You fit use Momo run plenty things without cash, as long as you get Momo account. No cash, no wahala, and e dey easy to open o. Just dial *671# to open Momo account. Set your PIN, transfer money from your bank account inside your Momo account. Make you fit dey pay for anything, send and receive money sharp sharp, because life dey simple with Momo.
Ìjà International Marketing GSM Car and Trailer Parking àgbékalẹ̀ ààrẹ látòṣà Ìbàdàn North Local Government tó fi mọ́ Uptown Diamond and Landscaping Limited kápákì tuntun yìí o ṣọ́ọ̀bù rẹpẹtẹ láti kọ́ síbẹ̀ fún ọrọ̀ ajé.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, gbogbo onímọ́tò ayọ́kẹ́lẹ́ ká àti tírélà máa wọlé páàkì jáde nínú ọjà láìsí ogún mi ọ̀tẹ̀ mi. Ọ̀rọ̀ agbémọ́tò wọnú Bódìjà ọjà àríbi páàkì sí ti kú mbẹ́. Àyè gbọ́kọ̀sí tó fẹ̀ tó lè gba ọkọ̀ tó lé nígbà ló wà ní ọjà Bódìjà báyìí o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn shops rẹpẹtẹ wà mbẹ̀ tá a ti kọ́. Ẹ tètè wá ra tí mbẹ̀ kó tó tán. GSM Car and Trailer Park tó wà lórí odò ẹran kára Bódìjà. Ibẹ̀ fini lọ́kànbalẹ̀. Onílé ìkẹ́rùsí warehouse, car wash, security, automated gate àbáwọlé jáde. All wà mbẹ̀. Ilé oúnjẹ kódà panápaná wà mbẹ̀. Solido Real Estate Consult nílé iṣẹ́ tó ń tàwọn ṣọ́ọ̀bù yìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti débẹ̀ shop F26 ni wọ́n wà. Ẹ pè 0053535064.
Yorùbá bọ̀ wọ́n ló nílùú òní fi ó tú. Ìdí rèé táwọn àgbààgbà tí ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ jẹ lógún fi ní. Ó yẹ àmọ́ bí à ń rè o àtọ̀nà tá a tọ̀ débẹ̀. Àgbà iṣẹ́ àwa lọ́jà àkórí ọmọ tuntun ó wọ́. Kí ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ máa yàn rí igun ká sì lè rí èrè ìjọba àwa ara wa ní tilé toko. Kétò ẹ̀kọ́ mọ́ làkùdé kí tìlera ó dúró re. Kọ́rọ̀ ajé ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ jẹ́ àǹfààní tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àtàwọn olùgbé ibẹ̀. Káàbò ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tún mú yányán sí i. Kó ní iṣẹ́ ọwọ́, oníṣòwò, òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba àtòṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì ríná rílò. Kóhun amáyédẹrùn ó kárí tìbútò òró ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ká sì yọwọ́ jàǹdùkú nínú àtòlú. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa, ìwòye àwọn tọ́rọ̀ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ jẹ lógún rèé o ni wọ́n fi ń sọ fún wa pé ẹni tó kójú òṣùwọ̀n àlàkalẹ̀ wọ̀nyí tíṣèlú ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ yé pẹ̀lú rírí tó mọ ohun tá à ń fẹ́ nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tó sì mọ bí ó ti tẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́ ní sẹ́nitọ́ Teslim Kọ́láwọlé Fọlárìn òun ni gbogbo wa ó sì parapọ̀ dìbò gómìnà wa fún nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ APC lẹ́gbẹ́ òṣùṣù ọwọ́làmì bó bá dijọ́ ìdìbò sẹ́nitọ́ Teslim Kọ́láwọlé Fọlárìn là á dìbò gómìnà wa fún. Ìkéde yìí wá látọ̀dọ̀ barista Sharafadin Abiodun Ali.
Aládé ọ̀wá jáde jáwa náà lọ rí gbowó tíá. Owó kíni? Ṣé wọ́n ò gbọ́ ni pé wọ́n ti ń bẹ̀pínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tàbí ẹni bẹ́yọ̀ wọ́n ti gbowó orí gbogbo wa. Àwọn olóṣèlú tó gbọ́ pé wọ́n ti kúrò lẹ́yìn ẹnìkan wọ́n ti bọ́ sẹ́yìn baálẹ̀ tó wà lóróyè wọ́n ti gbowó ni. Àwọn tán ti bínú kúrò lẹ́yìn baálẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ tán tó ti wá padà síbi èébì wọn. Iṣẹ́ owó lọ rí un gbogbo owó tó kù tá a yá. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ là á fìrà lọ́wọ́ àwọn olóṣèlú àtàwọn aráàlú tọrọ òye. Ìwọ ò mọ̀ pẹ́ni àbàtà bíbọ́lá àbọ̀ ó lè kì í lọ sóko ẹ̀kan kó síwọ́. Ajédéjẹ kò ní jẹmọlẹ́yọ kan.
Àsàmọ̀rẹ́ yé mi àwọn èèyàn pínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ni ká wá ṣọ́ra ká má sọra wa dọjà tí wọ́n ń dùnàdúrà rẹ̀. Tá a bá fẹ́ nílọ síwájú tòótọ́ gbogbo bíi bàtà ti ń ta wá lẹ́sẹ̀. Ládébáyọ̀ Adélabú ti ṣèlérí láti bòrórò túra sí pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn Ọlọ́run. Àwa ló kù ká dìbò fún ká tẹ̀ka síwájú àtàǹpàkò. Ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú àkọ́dù la yàn láàyò. Adébáyọ̀ Adélabú pẹ̀ǹkẹ̀lẹ̀ mẹ́sì la ó dìbò fún. Iwájú àmì àtàǹpàkò látẹ̀ka sí yóò ju wa ṣe o.
It's happening in the city of Ibadan. Ìpàdé orin yìí. Yes, so now the volume 2 of Ibadan Community Hymn Singing 2.0, a testimonial concert wey go shele on Sunday 19th of March 2023. Come and experience 90 minutes of hymnology session like never before. The venue na Emmanuel Anglican Church wey dey for Ikotedo Salvation Army Road, Ibadan. Time na 4 p.m. Make you no miss am at all. Fún àlàyé àti ìbéèrè ẹ pè sórí 0803 828 5046. Olùgbàlejò ní Babátúndé Ọlápàdé. Ìbàdàn Community Hymn Singing 2.0. Àjọ máa wà ń bẹ̀.
Mọ Jésù yóò tán ìmọ́lẹ̀.
Solutions FM 93.9. We are the remedy.
Alright, it's back on AM Update on Solutions 93.9 FM, and it's the newspaper review segment. And gladly we have our analyst already with us in the studio. That is Comrade Oluwamotosho. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, it's a pleasure to have you with us this morning. Let's go straight to the business of the day. Okay, I'm glad you're here this morning because when this cashless policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria was being initiated last year, we were together discussing it, and you being a very strong supporter, and you believed so much that that policy will achieve a whole lot of things. Now, it's in the dailies this morning that inflation rate has really skyrocketed between January and now, and it has been going on the rise on a monthly basis. And it's on the Nation newspaper this one that food petrol prices raised inflation to 29.1%. And one of the reasons why this cashless policy was being initiated by the Central Bank of Nigeria was to curb inflation rate rise and to stabilize and to make lives better for the people. Now, in your own assessment so far, has that policy really yielded its aim, which you believed in initially?
Yeah. Just like I'm used to saying that in Nigeria we don't have problem of milling out policies. We are so good at that. I mean, world-class policies that will work anywhere. But the unfortunate scenario will always come in when it gets to the points of implementation. I think it's the implementation of this policy that is giving us the kind of nightmare that we have now. Now, you don't, when you want to do a cash swap, you want to redesign your currency. It takes time. It's a gradual thing.
Okay.
And yeah, I think because they have a different agenda, of course, which was plausible, which was something that I like too, to make sure that it reduces vote buying and all that. So they did that in a hurry. But since I think something is technically wrong with the way or maybe implementation with the central bank, because now the presidential election had gone. Okay. Of course, I was discussing with some people and I told them, I said, look, since this presidential election is gone now we are going to experience a little bit of relief. But unfortunately, it was even getting worse. Now the Supreme Court has said, okay, allow these two currencies to flow together up until December. Now roll out the old currency note that you took in, and unfortunately, it appears as if the old notes are not coming out again.
Let's look at this theory, comrade. The old notes were mopped out in the space of about 3 months. Yeah, right. And it's very possible that once it had got into the coffers of the CBN, they may not exist anymore. So probably this is the reason why we're experiencing even much more scarcity of the cash. But the question now is, if the old notes being taken to the CBN are there, why is it that the new Naira notes are no longer in circulation?
Well, that's the million Naira. That's the $1 million question.
And just to add to what Favor said, I think in some quarters it's been speculated that since the CBN grudgingly abided or agreed to the court's judgment, Emefiele or the central bank is okay, I will do it now. But because on the papers now, banks run out of old and new Naira notes to pay customers, and it even goes on to say CBN fails to honor cash requests. That means these banks are requesting for cash from the CBN.
On the Punch newspaper, it says new Naira pains persist despite fresh CBN orders. Queues, chaos in banking owes as scarcity worsens. And banks expect more notes from CBN before Saturday polls. And the expectation is still high. Today is Thursday, tomorrow is Friday. By Saturday, no bank will be open. Even by tomorrow, I'm very sure, before 1 o'clock or before 2 o'clock, those banks must have closed.
Yeah. It's there is, when you want to, whatever policy you have as a government, now if you have the people in mind, now at implementation level, you really will not have too much of trouble, because you are expected to, you will have envisaged some of the difficulties and challenges that can come during the period of implementation.
You know, sir, when this thing was being initiated, when we're discussing it on this program, I kept on hammering on the point that is Nigeria ripe for it? Meaning that the necessary things already been put in place. And I remember you saying that, well, there can never be any time.
There can never be a perfect time.
Perfect time.
No.
because I was beginning to envisage these things happening. In the space of 3 months that we've experienced this cashless thing in Nigeria, a lot of people have died. A lot of businesses have collapsed. Some people's means of livelihood have been shattered. And that was what I was raising in December, that will this really augur well with the Nigerians? Now, one of the reasons CBN came up with this is to at least to make the cash, like the big the political heavyweights, to make them have less access to cash. But looking at the queues at the banks this morning, I never for one day saw a big man there. It's we the masses. It's we the ambelon in Nigeria, as the term is, I'm using the term ambelon, that we see on the queue. All these big men have their way. They have, no matter what amount of money they want, they have their way of getting access to this cash. So is it a dead on arrival policy?
It's not. It's a beautiful policy. I insist. It's a very, very beautiful policy. But the problem is there is an agenda. There is a hidden agenda that is not that is not known to us, the general public. Now, because if it were to be just for the reason they told us that, look, we want to make sure that our electoral process is sanitized. We want to make sure that the money that is out of the banking system is returned back and all that. If that is just the reason that they are doing what they did. Now, of course, by now we won't be in the kind of mess that we are now. And the reason why this thing is persisting is because in our own country, there is the laws that we have is not there for to instill deterrence. When people do things wrongly, they are not challenged, or they are not penalized for it. In another country, Emefiele will be answering questions now.
By now,
the central bank, the Supreme Court gave a judgment, and for more than 10 days, nothing happened. And nothing was done.
Even seems,
now, even the president himself didn't say anything.
Even this thing is, because by now we thought the things will have eased out. Go to the banks as we speak now. People are still.
The banks don't have the money. The banks don't have the money. What they had, this CBN mopped it up. They took it. They took it. All of them. They took it to CBN, and CBN had not replenished. They have not given them another. A friend, a banker friend told me that for 2 weeks, they have been asking for cash they did not receive. Now, if people are just milling out there, you will observe that sometime, maybe about 2 weeks ago, for some days, most banks didn't even open at all, because they didn't have anything to give to the people. Now, at a point, maybe because they envisaged that there could be some kind of problem, maybe riot or something, with looking at the crowd at their gate, they will open up and then give old money to some people, and then they'll tell them, if you bring it back, we won't take it. So it shows clearly that there is more to it, to these policies that made it.
Does it now mean that the central bank is stylishly implementing that policy despite the court ruling?
No, because
the cash is nowhere to be found. The banks. I called a banker friend yesterday. On Monday, and she told me that for the past 1 week, like you said, even as at Monday, even as at yesterday, they didn't have a single cash to dispense to people.
Wait, you know what?
And she said they've been requesting for cash from the CBN.
Can we actually, leave the banks out of this, leave the CBN out of this? I had an experience a few days ago, and that was with commercial driver. There is this small place in those commercial vehicles where they keep lots of money in. I saw lots and lots and lots of cash in that particular spot. Now, we are blaming the CBN, we are blaming the banks. Why are we not directing the blame to ourselves?
Ow.
And I literally asked that man, you have lots of cash in this. Let me transfer to you and have cash with me. I cannot do it. We believe that the big wigs are the ones ordering this cash. Even we are giving ourselves lots and lots of problems in this country.
Well,
we can't leave the CBN out of it.
I would disagree with you.
Because the crux of the problem we're having now is the CBN.
Why is it that these people that have the cash are not allowing it to circulate?
You really cannot say the man that you saw
He
with
might
that
have
cash maybe doing
something
business
to-
with
he might
it.
do business with it.
Yes, of course.
Don't we have POS operators?
I mean, he may be doing
Okay,
business
now-
with
Okay, if
Wait,
he
now
gives
look
out the
at it.
cash,
If-
how will he get
Now the question
reimbursement?
now is, all right, how will he get reimbursement? Now, paint the scenario. He is a commercial driver, takes this load of cash that he has gotten, gives it to the POS people, sells it, and POS people to give it to us in high prices.
You never can tell. His wife may be operating POS, so he's gathering cash for her,
see.
and then when he gets home, he gives it to her.
So this is a complicated matter.
Yeah, it is.
Now the question now is, now the CBN brought out a policy. Some policies in Nigeria have been made, but they were never ever implemented. Why do these policies keep failing in Nigeria?
Because they have more to eat than they tell the people. They have sinister plan and agenda when they are coming up with policies than they tell the people what they are working at. So at the end of the day, trying to do it and then making sure that they fulfill their own hidden agenda, they run into problems. And that's exactly what we are getting now. Because if CBN is operating as it should be, now that it's, the highest bank, the highest court in the land says release that money. Now, what the banks brought to them should have been turned out back to the banks. And so by now, the pressure will have gone down.
Just to add to what you said, to respond to Favor's point, if CBN had done the needful, if it had made this cash available in the banks, there is no need for that person you saw to be. At least we were all in Nigeria about this time last. Nobody envisaged that there could be a time in Nigeria when yesterday I had to pay 200 naira per 1,000 yesterday at a POS place. It wasn't like that about a year ago.
You are even lucky to even find a place to give you 200 naira for 1,000. You would not find the cash anywhere. They will tell you there is no cash.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there is cash hiding somewhere. 0909 88 89 939 and 0912 22 22 939. 0909 88 89 939 and 0912 22 22 939 to call in this morning.
And you can also drop your comment on our Facebook page. I can see some comments already on the Facebook page.
Right, let me take this call. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, everyone in the studio.
Hello,
Good morning.
From Akobo.
Good morning, Kemi.
Yes, now that the inflation rate has hit 21.91%, tell me why more Nigerians won't dwell in extreme poverty. Tell me, because the nation the Nigerians are not happy with the situation of things across the nation at the moment. We can't get the whole note. We can't even get the new naira note. Is this a nation? Why are they there? We voted for them so they could make our life bearable. This government at the center and the center, they are just there for nothing sake. Their knowledge about economy is very low. Now let's come to your state. Ladoja's wife endorsing Makinde. It is a good development. Makinde has served the masses. Yes, he is a leader with youthful mind, and we are ready to vote for him. He fixed the road that leads to my house, Akobo Ojore, and I will vote for him. Good morning, Kemi from Akobo.
You mentioned something about Ladoja, right? You mentioned something about his wife. I want to. I'm just going to let us take this call first. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Ruth calling from Alakia.
Okay, good morning, Ruth. Let's have your take.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I wonder how we got here. Because after the citizen order, I've not seen any change. Because some banks are telling us that they don't have the new and old notes. So how did they not want us to keep living in here? So it really shows there's more to this than monetary policy. So I would urge all the citizen governors, they should disburse money to all these commercial banks. And in Oyo State here, I really like the way people are really supporting Governor Seyi Makinde, because they know the good governance under his administration is really, really a great thing. Because come to airport today, it's already turning to international airport. Not how it's in the park administration. So those endorsing him, they want the good governance to continue. And now we urge the good people of Oyo State, come march, they should come massively and vote for someone that will keep fulfilling his promise. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Someone mentioned, as of this morning, Ladoja is endorsing Teslim Folarin. Good morning. All right. Good morning to you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Balki Zonojiro from Ibadan. Hello?
Let's have your take. Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. I don't understand. I'm becoming confused the type of policies we have in Nigeria. Few days ago, Babaladoja just said here he has endorsed the APC Juba candidate. And now the wife is endorsing Makinde. What is going on? Is that going to be a confusion in the family? Then, to the best of my knowledge, Ladoja's wife is still an active member of the Makinde's cabinet. In a way, you see, Baba, like Ladoja, should sit down in a place, let these younger ones like Makinde and Pekele meet them, seek advice, and take home, not delving deeper into politics that could be bringing disrespect to them. So I think there is kind of this godfatherism battle, which is why he's not aligning with Makinde. So may God help us anyway, and choose the best from us. Come March 18th. That was my take.
All right, thank you very much. The story of Ladoja to Oyo State voters was on the Tribune newspaper this morning, as of this morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your name?
Calling from Olodo.
Okay,
All right.
go ahead. One minute.
My take is on the Naira, the scarcity of Naira.
Okay, please go ahead.
We just celebrated the letter that was released on Tuesday, and just yesterday again now we go to bank and to realize that bankers are telling us that there's scarcity of cash, that there's no cash at all available for Nigerians. How long do we want to continue to experience this hardship under this federal government? We should please see to the situation of this nation, and they should please stop increasing hardship on us. Just yesterday again now we realized that the inflation rate has also reached 21.91%. That is unfair now. Yeah? You go to market, you can't afford to buy things. You want to even buy something that you have to even buy the money you want to spend. Yeah? So for how long do we want to continue to feel this pain? They should please see to it. Then on Oyo State, come what may, I believe a lot of us have seen what the incumbent government has done in terms of performance to just bring peace and joy to comfort to we the people. So if a lot of people are endorsing him, I believe it's because they've enjoyed the style of governance, and that should continue. We should all embrace it and do the same on Saturday. We should come out en masse and vote this good government that is having the interest of people at heart. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that comment. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm Sharif from Nara.
All right, Sharif, 60 seconds, please.
I don't have much to say. Just what you read there, Babaladoja endorsed someone. But I don't believe it. Because Babaladoja is a elder statesman, also a IT for Ibadan land. What he told us in 2019 that he have quit the politics. So his door is open for all politicians because Adelabu is there. He did not endorse him. Shimakide is there. He did not endorse him. But someone that endorsed did not ever state the achievement or antecedent that we can prevent him. But if Babaladoja's wife, the first lady, the former first lady, and gives support to Shimakide, that means the statement that he said that Makinde have reduced to a pocket by the Godfather is big volume. So nobody candidate for us in Oyo State. We the citizen, the electorate, we can decide on our own the way we decided in 2019, and we believe our vote will be counted as well by voting Shimakinde back for the continuity of good governance.
Right,
that's my own take.
Thank you very much.
This will be the last call for this morning. Good morning
Hello.
to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Adeyemo.
Okay,
Good morning.
God will continue to bless you people there.
Amen.
You see what the people have been saying, endorsing Seyi Makinde, and God will make it true. God will give Seyi Makinde victory. So I think Babaladoja, according to what I heard this morning, he has rescinded his decision to support the demand in question. So that's what I want to contribute. He has stopped supporting the man in question. Okay. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much for that. All right, so let's take this from Facebook. Omade Adekunle, the last general election signified that our votes count by having the party of no structure to have such huge amount of votes. So I'll urge the electorate, especially people of your state, to also come out massively and vote for personality that will keep its promises, a personality that will take the well-being of the masses, workers and pensioners as its utmost priority. May God bless your state and your state government by God's grace.
Okay, Comrade Olomotosha, let's hope by this time next week when we'll be meeting again, there won't be issue of this having to go through going through hell to see cash. Let's hope that, and by that time maybe the CBN will prove people wrong that there is no hidden agenda to this policy. I'd like to say a big thank you to you for being a part of the program this morning, sir.
Thank you, but I would say that CBN will not be proving the people wrong if it's just if they will be redeeming themselves. If they will be redeeming themselves, because they already carve an image for themselves in the heart of the people now.
Let's hope they will redeem their image.
Let's hope, because they're anti-people already.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Okay, this is where we'll be calling it a day on the program today. Favor?
Yeah, this is where we'll be calling it bye-bye. So next week.
Till next week, Wednesday.
Wednesday we'll be together again. Please stay safe. The duo of yes, Alana Pokunubi and Victory Chad will be back tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow. Yeah, okay,
yes,
all right.
For we ourselves and us, we say bye-bye. Please enjoy the rest of your day. I am Favor Olorotola.
And I'm Adida Malalafenwa. Good morning.